Sorry, I wasn't informed that this was a split call.
It's a split call.
It is a split call. In that regard, you have 5 minutes, Julianne Gender. Yeah, it is helpful if members alert the Speaker first, and then I can give a warning bell, and it would be preferable if that happened. Okay. Julianne Gender.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the budget is about choices. In the Green Party, we are very conscious that resources are limited, and so we have to make choices about how we spend our money. Despite what the National Party might say about us, we believe in living within our means. One can tell what someone values by what they prioritize in their spending. The Green Party values our pristine natural environment. We value people and we value democracy. We would make very different choices to this government in our budget. A green budget would be one that builds an economy that serves people and protects the planet, that enriches the lives of New Zealanders for generations to come. I stood to be an MP for the Green Party because I love New Zealand. I want to help look after our precious places and all of our people. And we can do that. We have so many opportunities right now in 2014 to create a clean, green economy that works for everyone, not just those who are already at the top. Unfortunately, this national government doesn't believe that we can have a healthy environment and have jobs. They consistently say that we're against jobs because we want to protect the environment. Nothing could be further from the truth. Our economy exists to serve us. It exists to serve people. And it cannot exist without a healthy environment. Our economic success is underpinned by the health of our environment. I know that New Zealanders love our rivers and streams, and they want them to be clean enough to swim in, as they once were. Unfortunately, this budget doesn't do much to clean up our rivers. On the contrary, it earmarks $80 million to subsidize irrigation schemes, which will make pollution in rivers worse. National are choosing to prioritize big projects like the Tandem, a project that does not even stack up economically in the short term, let alone environmentally in the long term. And the national government is consistently choosing to prioritize a few people who stand to gain in the short term, even when it will leave New Zealand's economy and environment worse off, when it will leave New Zealand's rivers more polluted, and only a few people will benefit. Another example of short-term thinking by this national government is the decision to prioritize billions of dollars in the transport budget on a few motorway projects that only will serve 5% of vehicle trips. It sounds crazy, and it is. And they're going ahead with these projects that don't stack up economically in the short term or environmentally in the long term. Of course, there are some people who will benefit from these new duplicate highways. There are a few people who drive on those roads who will say, once they've been built, that they're better off. That's true. But we don't see the opportunity cost. And there is a massive opportunity cost to spending billions on just a few highways, like the Puhoi to Warkworth Holiday Highway, Transmission Gully, which we're taking out a private loan to fund. Even though the government claims to have returned to surplus, they're actually getting us into more debt for some very dodgy projects, and the Waikato Expressway. And that opportunity cost is we won't see the improvements to safety and maintenance of these existing roads sooner. We won't see the improvements to train and bus services that could have helped millions of New Zealanders get to work and get to school more affordably and more quickly, whether they travel by public transport or by car. Because the best way to free up the roads at peak time is to make it easier for some people, not everyone, to leave the car at home. We won't see the transformational and very low-cost benefits of making it safer for kids to walk and cycle to school. The Green Party has a very smart, practical alternative to the government's program that will improve our existing roads and give New Zealanders more choices. Housing has been raised as a major issue, and I just want to make a couple of comments about housing and how the national government is missing a huge opportunity to address both the demand side and the supply side of housing. They claim there's no demand problem, that there's no impact from foreign capital coming into our real estate market. Well, that would make New Zealand an absolute exception in the world, on the world scene, because it's affecting property prices in cities across the world. Secondly, they say it's entirely a supply issue and that freeing up new land on the fringe is going to create affordable housing. But it will also bring with it enormous transport costs. And it would be wiser to enable cities to address the supply problem through targeted building, increasing the opportunities for people to live where they want to live, where land values are highest.
Sorry, the member's time has expired.
Mr. Speaker.
Craig Foss, the Honourable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, on the